Hi, I'm Lachelle Atkins, also known as America's Supermom, and I am excited about Go Shop America. This is an opportunity for small business owners to be able to feature their products on TV. So if you are looking for affordable way to distribute your products, and if you're a consumer looking to buy the hottest trends, then I tell you to follow us at Go Shop America.
Good evening and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am Michelle Clarkson, and I want to welcome you to this special podcast, the Get Branded Takeover. And tonight it's a special podcast because I will be talking about a 6 month program that I just completed, the Get Branded program. And I am really excited because I get to flip the script and interview two amazing ladies, my para partners and mentors, America Supermom, Lachelle Atkins, and Anita the Biz Coach, Anita Newsom. And so I'm really excited that you are here tonight and joining me because I am going to be talking about everything about branding, which some of you might even be saying right now, what is branding? Talking about branding, confidence, and all of the wonderful things that have happened since I've been a part of this 6 month program. So let me just go ahead and jump in and tell you about the Get Branded program and how I got connected with Lachelle and Anita and what actually drew me to the program. So Lachelle and we've known each other for several years, going back all the way to middle school. And, we went to school in middle school, high school, college. And when I relocated to Atlanta, she had reached out to me to let me know about, some things that she was doing with her business and events that she was having. And she had invited me to about 3 events, and I said no. And she was having this Get Branded event, and she had invited me yet again. And so I said, Michelle, you have told her no one too many times. So I was like, I am going. And before I even went, I really didn't know what to expect from the event. And I reached out to Lachelle and I said, should I really be coming to this event? Because, I'm just getting my business off the ground. And she was like, absolutely. That's even more reason for you to be there. So I attended this event. And at the event, it was just inspiring and motivating. One, being around other entrepreneurs, learning about different tips on how to expand my brand with my business. So after attending the event, I was like, okay, what's the next steps? I want to continue on with this journey. And so I embarked on a 6 month journey working with Anita and Lachelle to help me give my business brand visibility, to give me marketing strategies on how to be able to show up on social media and utilize that as another extension of my brand, to be engaged in collaborating and networking opportunities to help me build my business. So the journey working with both of them has been phenomenal because it has helped me just take my business off to another level and soar. The one thing that I say has really been great about it is how I've been able to increase my brand presence by utilizing social media. And I always, was on social media from a personal standpoint. But once I started working with Anita and Lachelle, one of the things that they both instilled in me was the fact that you have to let people know who you are and allow people to connect with you on a whole different level. And so in doing that, that's what I started doing. And I'm sure some of you that know me personally are like, okay, yes, you did, because I started posting like crazy. One, letting everyone know about my business, which my business is a motivational speaker, confidence coach, and a women's empowerment coach. So, I have a lot to bring to the table. So there's a lot that I can put out there and share about what I'm doing. I started making sure that I was dropping daily motivation every day to tie into my business, meaningful moments of power. And then also working with Anita and Lachelle, they instructed me so much and gave me so many great tips and strategies on scaling my business, things to do to attract new clients. So working with them, some of the highlights from working with them is, like I said, being a confidence coach and women's empowerment coach, I was able to expand my business and gain new clients, new coaching clients. I was able to secure speaking engagements. I have been interviewed on multiple podcasts since being a part of the Get Branded program. Um, I have also been guest speaking on other podcasts and in virtual workshops. And even last week, well, 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Houston, Texas, and I was a featured speaker at a Women's Trailblazer event. So not only has it expanded my brand from a social media perspective, but just from, I feel like globally, because the brand is everywhere. And so one of the things that I also took away from this program is you are your brand. Even if you don't have a business, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you are your brand. Every day, you are a walking poster board for who you are. And along with those wonderful things, the collaborations, it has also given me more confidence. One thing about myself, I used to think that I was a confident person, but just being able to have more visibility on different levels, different platforms, it has made my confidence soar through the roof even more. And so, I'm just really excited that one, I finally said yes to an event that Lachelle was having, and I attended the event. And I also got to network with some other great women that were at the event. And so it let me know that it doesn't matter where you are in your business, Michelle, you can be exactly where you want to be if you just take the step to get the support that you need to get there. So I'm really excited about the 6 months that I spent working with both of these ladies. Even last week, because of working with them and just having being a part of their network, I was able to attend a live premiere of a podcast taping with one of their TV producers from Zandra TV Network. And so it was just really exciting for me because it's like, hey, these are the things that I aspire to have my own show one day. So to be able to be involved in that and see, all the ins and outs, these are all the things and the wonderful things that have come from being a part of the Get Branded program. And like I was saying about my confidence, I always felt that I was confident, but because of being in the Get Branded program, like I said, the confidence has soared through the roof. And now it's like anytime I have an opportunity to step on stage or any type of platform to use this voice, I am there. And, as a matter of fact, speaking about stepping on platforms, I have a clip of me speaking at a event. Purpose, success always follows. And then the third thing that I would say is the most critical and most important key and element to success is confidence and self-love. When you love yourself, when you know who you are, you're able to then give your gift to the world. When you're confident about something, you don't need validation in others. You know who you are and you know what your purpose is. So that is one of my mantras that I live by. And one of the things I say all the time is to be is up to me. So love yourself, be confident about yourself, be organized, and move with intention and purpose. So that was such an exciting day for me because, as I was talking about confidence, confidence is something that I'm always talking about, self love. And when I work with people and I'm helping them build confidence or working with women, one of the things that I always share with them is my story that I've been through and, what drew me to be a motivational speaker, what made me want to be a coach. Because as a woman, I am a domestic abuse survivor. I am a divorced single mom. And so I have had to navigate challenges in my life, rebuild my confidence, fall in love with myself, and unlock my power and my confidence so that I could live a purpose driven life. And so today, those are the things that I teach people. I help them to unlock their power, transform their mindset so they can lead boldly, communicate powerfully, and live a life of purpose. So I'm just so thankful that I had the opportunity to be a part of this 6 month Get Branded program. But I am really, really excited tonight that I get to flip the script and interview my power partners and let you all meet these two phenomenal ladies. So right now, I would like to bring to the stage my power partners, Anita Newsom and America's Supermom, Lachelle Atkins.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
glad to be
hey.
here.
Thank you, ladies, for joining. And thank you for all of the support that you have given me over the past 6 months with this Get Branded program. I tell you all the time, but I am forever grateful to you and your support.
I'm just listening to everything you're saying, and it's like, wow, if my kids could do that,
Right, right,
what
right, right.
what can I do to have my kids do that?
Okay.
Okay, I'm just saying.
See that.
I tell you.
Well,
But
yes.
so glad to be here, and you were just amazing. I mean, just your poise and
Natural. She's a
just
natural.
confidence and just opening up the show and sharing. I'm really excited to be here, and a little nervous about being on the hot seat.
What? Not too nervous? Yes, on the hot seat. Yes, and I've been waiting for this. Look, you all, I could not wait for this opportunity to flip the script and interview them and drop some questions. So before we get started and get into the questions, why don't you both introduce yourselves and let everyone know about you and what you do?
All right, Anita, you can go first because she's saying some tech issues might be going on.
Well, can you all hear me first of all? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Yes.
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 Am I like slow motion? Because on my end I'm slow motion. Can you?
You're
Oh,
good. We can
You're
hear you
good.
fine.
Yes, we can
okay,
hear
all right. Well, all right. Wonderful, wonderful. I am so excited to be here. I was backstage, y'all. I'm over here live in my TikTok on my phone, right? I was like, y'all, I don't know what she gonna ask us. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I'm excited. I don't know what I'm doing right over here, but I'm glad to be here because this has been such an amazing journey to take with Michelle. So, as she said, my name is Anita Newson. I'm also known as Anita and the Biz Coach. And one of my passions is to help people have a voice for their vision and a mouth for their mission. And one of the ways I do that is through branding, of course. And that's how we are here tonight. We are here to celebrate Michelle and the things that she has done, while we also kind of share with you all some of the things that we love to share and bring out of others. Right? We say all the time, everything is content. I think Michelle has gotten that down to a T. That everything, no matter where we are, everything is content. And this collaboration has been such an inspiring experience. So I'm excited to be here tonight, ladies.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Anita and Lachelle.
Thank you again for having us. Excited.
Yeah,
And hey, Mary, I love all the engagement that she always brings to the conversation. But
yes, I love it.
uh, I am Lachelle, also known as America's Supermom. I'm the mother of 15 children, and I'm a mental health strategist. I help executive women to align their brand with their identity so that they can shine in the media. So I'm excited to be here and have the conversation. And hey, we got Engaged Content Studios in the house. So we're excited for them to join us as well. But really excited for the conversation.
Awesome. Well, I am just so glad to have both of you here. And look, I see Anita's face. No need to be afraid on the questions, that I will ask. Just want to, let
Oh,
people get to
geez.
know you all better and, the things that you do and everything like that. So, Lachelle, I think, I will start with you, America's
Mhm.
Supermom, because, everyone, did you hear what she said? The mother of 15 children. Okay. She is America's super mom.
Yes, yes.
So,
Wow,
with
okay.
this Get Branded program and everything, what really inspired you to create this program?
Yeah, I find that I like to be able to provide solutions for real problems. I went through 13 years of depression in my own journey, and a lot of times it was around covering up issues that I was having, trying to be perfect in all things. And so when you have that kind of mindset, you really don't progress because you're so busy trying to cover up things rather than deal with real issues so you can grow. So, one of the things that I enjoy about the collaborations that Anita and I do are we simply just find challenges that we may be struggling with or what other people may be struggling with, and then create community around it so that people can feel comfortable to be transparent about things that they struggle with so that they can be a better version of themselves. I find that a lot of times as women, we have no problem supporting each other with, recipes or, deals that we find in the shopping mall and things like that. And a lot of times what happens is we share and give value at the expense of our health. We can, get ourselves out of an emergency, but when we learn how to collaborate, we get to implement strategy so that we don't have to be doing things out of desperation and out of an emergency situation, but we can start planning and creating something that we can monetize as well as continue to grow us on our journey.
Absolutely. Awesome. And so, Anita, what about you? What inspired you to be a part of this Get Branded program and to create this along with Lachelle?
Well, y'all know me, I'm the clown of the bunch. So I have to tell my animated version of how this kind of got started. So um, Lachelle and I are actually best-selling authors internationally at Amazon through an anthology book that we were a part of, and that's how we actually met. And so I was in my hometown doing a book signing, and I didn't have any type of signage or anything. So I decided last minute, hey, I'm going to go to the Office Depot, order me, get something really quick, to get made so I could, have some branding, quote unquote, right, at the event. And so when I ordered it, I went back to pick it up. And the lady was, I was like, oh, you did a really good job. I appreciate it. She was like, yeah, so who is this lady in the picture? And I was like, girl, that's me. What are you talking about? That's what I want to say. That's what I felt in my spirit. But, I had to bring it down. I was like, well, it's me. I know I have gray hair now. And, and there I have brown hair, but I've embraced my gray. So this is a new journey that I'm on. She was like, oh, okay. She couldn't take it back. It's too late. You can't fix it. It's too late. So, I got to thinking, I was like, oh my God, I have got to update my media kit. I have got to, if one person is thinking that, it's got to be more than one person thinking that, right? And I'm like, I know I can't be the only one that either needs to update, the media kit, or maybe even need to start one, because there's so many times I've invited people to be on my platforms and then they don't have anything. They don't have a bio. They don't have a headshot, professional headshot, nothing. And I'm just like, oh my God. So here I am creating it for them. That's a whole nother conversation. So, I reached out to Lachelle, my ace boon coon in these branded streets. And I was like, look, Lachelle, I'm thinking this could actually be some type of event that we can, create around this. She was like, yeah, I like the idea. So we decided to go for it. Right. And lo and behold, it has grown arms and legs. It has a Siamese twin now. It is just continuing to expand beyond anything that we had imagined. We just wanted some pictures. We just wanted some pictures, some footage, some new content. Being TV producers, we're always looking for content, right? Having these podcasts and all the different things we do. So it was like, let's just do that. Let's have fun with it, and we were having fun with it, and that's all we wanted to do was do that. Then all of a sudden it was like, but this looked like it could be more than this. There are people that need this. It's not just about pictures. It's not just about websites and logos. It's about bringing that confidence out of folks that it's already there. They just may even have it buried, or they just need somebody to help them illuminate it, right? So it was like, it was birthed from that. So, Lachelle, with her experience and her background and me coming on the scene, I was just like, wow, I love this. I never even saw myself as a branding strategist until I really got into it. And I was like, oh, I like this. I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit. So to be able to, help somebody else, oh my God, Michelle, it has been amazing watching you glow and shine and expand and the success you've had in this short period of time. So I am just so elated that you trust us enough to be able to go with you on this journey. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I am so glad that you needed a new headshot and you were like, Lachelle, what can we do? because I would not have attended the event. So, like I said, forever grateful. So, I'm so glad that you both decided to do this. And so, as marketing strategists, when you think about entrepreneurs, what would you say is the biggest problem that you see with entrepreneurs when it comes to them building their business and a recognizable brand?
I would say that it is, talking yourself out of things. You have an idea, but then it's like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have the money. Or, I'm just new starting out. I can't do it. That comes to mind. And just with this particular project that we did with Get Branded, because we just took the first step, which was, hey, other people probably need pictures too. They need to learn how to create content that's going to help them be more marketable. So we just said yes to that and just did it. And then as a result of being at the event and not just having enough time, right? It was like we had so much stuff that we wanted to share. It just wasn't enough time. And so as a result of taking that action, it created a whole coaching program that we were not even aware of. And we started off with it being a challenge. So it was 30 days, and 30 days just wasn't enough time, So then it expanded, even further. And I think we talk ourselves out of things before we even take the first step. And we talk ourselves out of things with the wrong information. Once you take the first step, you get real data and real information that you can use in order to move forward and make the next step and the next one and the next one and keep building. So that would be my answer, is that, we talk ourselves out of things before we even get started.
That one I know so well. So it's like, yes. So Anita, so what would you say would be, the biggest thing that you see with entrepreneurs when it comes to building their business and having a recognizable brand?
Well, one of the things that I've seen, and I believe I probably even experienced it myself, is, not allowing myself to be my original self, right? A lot of times people think they have to be like others. They want to, they want to mimic what somebody else is doing because they see that they're successful. What they're doing is working. Not to say it wouldn't work for you, but first of all, you have to be your original self. So it reminds me of a close friend of mine. And I tell this story sometimes. She, we're always bouncing ideas off each other, right? Business ideas and stuff like that. And so she was telling me she had gotten into juicing. And she was like, man, I really want to share this, with other people because it's such a healthy journey to take, how much weight she lost and how much better she felt about herself. She was lighter and all these different things. And then, she was telling me all these things. And I was like, girl, so yeah, people would love to take that journey with you, right? They want to see the transformation. She was like, no, I'm not going on camera looking like, looking like this, because she hadn't lost all the weight she wanted to lose. She was still like, I'm not, no, I don't want nobody to see me like this. I'm not going on camera. I was like, boo, look, now you tripping right now. I'm trying to tell you, it's all about the journey. I don't want to see nobody that weigh 90 pounds talking about I need the juice. I can't tell you juiced. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you been, where you came from. I need to see the before and then the after. So people want to connect with you through your journey. So we don't have to, put on this this facade, right? Like we came out like this, we woke up like this, right? When it's all a journey. It has been a journey for God to get me where I am today. Baby, it didn't come by happenstance, and it is still continues to be a journey. So just allowing, a person to allow themselves to be who they uniquely are and not let not be influenced by other folks that they got to be like that. Well, she did it and it's good, that worked for her, so it's going to work for me. Make it your own.
Mhm.
just make it your own and be you. That's, I mean, that's the best I can say it. I don't know, y'all. That's it. That's all. That's all
But-
I
And I
got.
That's
love it,
I,
because it's all
well, and
about
I
that
wanted
authenticity.
and I wanted to add to that too is that when you are real, then it makes other people eliminate the excuses that they have. So when I
Yeah.
tell people, hey, I have 15 kids, I went through depression, start talking about all the things that were building blocks, right? Some people might feel they were stumbling blocks, however you want to look at it. Then what it does is it allows them to say, now, if she can do it with all that she had going on, I don't have an excuse. And then they just get started.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yes. And that's why it's so important to share your story. And I love your answer, Anita, because the journey is important. And we're all on a journey. I mean, every day is a journey. Each new day is an opportunity to be better than I was the day before. So I'm starting off on a new
I
journey with
tell
each
you.
new day that comes. So, like you said, the journey, we need to see the journey and we need to hear those things that you've been through because like you said, Lachelle, when someone can resonate with you and say, well, if you did it, I can too. And same thing with
Mhm.
myself when I'm working with women. That's why I share my story because I want you to know I wasn't always where I am today. Okay. I didn't
Come
always
on.
have this confidence. My self esteem was low. I was broken. But then, baby, when she found out who MC was, look out. It was over.
Woo!
Okay. It
Hey,
was
come on
over. So
through. Come
that's
on
why you
through,
have to
MC.
share the journey and the transformation. So thank you both for that. So, and as we just kind of talked about transformation, let's kind of switch and talk about, confidence, which is one of my favorite things. But why do you think confidence is so important in building a brand and establishing, your footprint?
Well, I think, the first thing is that what do I want to say? The steps that you take don't define you. And I
Mm.
think that's important because there are going to be some things that you participate in that may not work out.
Mhm.
Okay. It might not be the right
The
time. It
truth.
might not be in alignment with the right people. It may not be the
Ooh.
right price. Okay. It could
Yes.
be a number of things, but that doesn't have to minimize your value and worth. So I think it's really important to have that passion because when you have that, you attract the right people. And there is always an opportunity to pivot and to learn from whatever you've
Mhm.
experienced. I think one of the things that started out for us is, we had one person, and it was like, okay, we teaching this like we got 1,000, and it's the work
Better
that you
know it.
do and the
Yeah.
energy that you bring to it that makes all the difference. And I think a lot of times people get too caught up in the numbers, but the
Mm.
numbers are not as important as the process.
Yes.
Some good
If
stuff.
you are building something from scratch, we always say building the plane while we're flying,
Come
then
on.
you need to know what those processes are. And so when you have a lot of distractions with a lot of different people for something that's organically new, you
Oh,
really have challenges with creating that process, and that's not going to sustain you if the process isn't right. So
mm.
it's not about the
Preach.
numbers, but it's about learning the systems and the processes that you can master. And then you can amplify and duplicate it with a lot more people once you know that it works.
Great. I love that. Love that. So, Anita, what would you say? Why is confidence so important in establishing and building your brand?
Well, I think that branding and knowing who you are and confidence really go together to me because once you know who you are, right? That's the first, really, to me, that's the first step is knowing who you are. You know, if you're not confident enough in saying, I've been through this and I don't mind sharing that, about my life to be able to strengthen and help somebody else, then you're not going to have the confidence to do the things that you need to do, the whole purpose that God created you for, right? So I feel like once you know who you are, you can go from there. That's where the confidence starts, I believe, is once we have identified ourselves, okay, I am a child of God, I am what he created me to be, right? He's made me to be, a strong corporate executive. He's made me to be I've gotten the wisdom and understanding of being a CEO of a nonprofit. Once you have that passion and that identity of who you are, then the confidence you need comes with that. But if you're not sure in who you are first, the confidence is not going to come. So they kind of go hand in hand. You have to know who you are first, what you're created to do, and then you build upon that confidence. And so getting in programs like this, I believe, because I've been through, everybody need a coach. Coaches need coaches. Hello. I've had coaches. Hey, Michelle, you too, right? We all, it's just like therapists need therapists, so coaches need coaches. So you learn, you're always learning. We ever feel like we're in a place where we have captured and learned everything we can learn, then you're not as smart as you think you are. Because we should always be in learning mode, right? So you should be able to glean from other people. So once you identify who you are, that brand, because what you are, your brand, that's your identity, then you can get, connect with other people to help you build on that brand, on that confidence, and to get you to where you need to go. So I really feel like that's one of the things that got us to, really create this program, is because we saw in you, Michelle, it was like all you needed was just a little nudge. You didn't need a whole lot. It was just the guidance. You had the confidence, but maybe, you didn't have, like Michelle was saying, the systems. You didn't understand the systems that were necessary. Maybe you didn't understand, some of the things that need to be in place to take that confidence in front of your audience, your tribe, right? So I think that that's what it takes. They both go hand in hand. The branding, which is your identity, being sure in who you are, knowing who you are, and then building on that confidence by getting folks, that can help you and push you along and guide you through that process so that your journey is successful. So, yep, that's what I think about branding and confidence.
Awesome.
Well, one thing I wanted to add to that too is that, with confidence comes the ability to listen to your own voice.
Yes,
Because I love what Anita said about, you already had the answers, and it just took being able to listen or answer the right questions for that specific area of your business in order for you to execute. Because we have been taught that we can multitask and do a lot of things, and we're running around on a hamster wheel not accomplishing anything. We're moving, but we're just moving in circles looking crazy, right?
Okay.
And so when you learn to be intentional, and that's really what a coach does, is help you to focus on the things that are going to create an impact in moving you forward. So I remember when I first got a coach, she charged me $1,000 a session. And it was something for me to focus and be intentional about, okay, well, what is it that I want to be known for? How do I want to show up? What is it that I want to create in order to be able to have a transformation with my clients? We did a deep dive in focusing on those things. And when we're doing 1,000 different things, sometimes we don't go deep enough into things. And so whenever we have the first sign of adversity, we quit or run in the opposite direction because we don't have that confidence deep enough to be able to say, I don't care what happens, I'm not quitting. I need to come up with a different option.
Yes. I love that. I love that response, because yes, you're so right. And when that adversity comes, it's like, let me just forget about it. No, that's your step to keep going even further. So yes, I love both of those. So one of the things, that has been so great for me that's come from the Get Branding is the collaboration and the networking that has, come from this. So how important is community and collaboration in brand growth?
Well, I feel like it takes a village. They say that when it comes to, families, but I think it applies to business as well. You know, um, what's that saying? I tried to write it down so I wouldn't forget. If you want to go fast, you go alone, right? Because you ain't got extra baggage. You ain't got extra folks to answer to, and slowing you down. But if you want to go far, you go together. I love that concept because anybody can do it alone, but you only gonna go so far, right? You can only take yourself so far. But when you build a team and you collaborate with like-minded people, now look, you can't be teaming up with anybody.
Say that.
Y'all heard me? Y'all heard me,
Okay.
right? Everywhere.
Yeah.
People in the back, y'all heard me? Okay. You can't be teaming up with everybody, right? Everything that look good ain't good for you. Might be good for somebody else, but might not be good for you. So connecting with the right people at the right time, at the right opportunities, is when things, you can tell the difference between when it's something that's called and meant to be versus something you're trying to force, right? It's a big difference. So, with being a part of Zonja TV network and getting to know Lachelle more and the way she helped us on under her network, she trained us. She started training us before we even knew what we were doing. So from the very start, we had that concept of collaboration, learning together, growing together, because we wanted to take this thing far, and we are taking it far, right? So that's one of the reasons you're even here. That's a part of the whole thing too, Michelle. So it takes, if you really want to be really successful, it takes a team. It takes collaboration and community from that. I mean, look, you're a part of our community now. We continue to build on that community. So it takes all of that, you all. You can't do it really alone. You really can't. So you limit yourself when you try to do things alone. I feel like. What you think, Michelle?
Absolutely. And I think you're able to grow faster when you collaborate with other people. I know that I used to be the bottleneck. For the past 3 weeks behind the scenes, I have had major disruptions in my personal life. From a daughter who's battling her mental wellness. I had a new grandbaby. I had a sick aunt who later on passed away. So there have been so many things going on in my personal life that the ball would have dropped if I was doing it by myself. So I think collaboration is important so that you never lose momentum. And
Hmm.
so people can just continue to do whatever it is that they feel comfortable doing or that they have the time to do. And so you never get stuck to where it's even harder. My husband used to be a store manager for Walmart, and he would work it tirelessly every night trying to finish things from Walmart. And I'm like, you might as well just leave it there because it's going to be there for you tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Nobody is going to be doing the work for you while you're gone, so you might as well get some rest, right? And so when we are doing things by ourselves, it's just like having a dish where you just let it sit there and you don't clean it. And over time, it just gets harder and harder. So then when you try to wash it,
Mm.
you're scrubbing and
Oh,
doing all this extra work to get it clean. Whereas if
Mhm.
you just allow other people to help you, you never have a bottleneck. You just
mm.
have the
Amen.
opportunity to keep moving. So I think when we're able to recognize that things can extend beyond ourselves, we
Hmm.
can grow so much faster and we can do the things that matter. Even when I learned a lot about delegating and priorities. We had an event this past weekend that I was supposed to attend, and I said, well, look at God, because I had already asked y'all to come and join the event before when I found out about it, right? Through
Yep.
collaboration. So what happens? I wasn't even able to attend, and so you guys still got to attend. So I feel like, always be ready to share, because you can get more connections, right? I can talk to three people. You could talk to three people. Anita can talk to three people. Okay, that's more people than I probably would have been able to do by myself. And then we
Come
can
on.
get together. Hey, I met them. They did this, they did that, and our network grows from there. So those are just some additional things that comes to mind when I think about collaborating.
Awesome. And I love both of those responses because it's all about building that community. And you are exactly right, because I could not have done what I've done without the community that I've established with you all. And then also the networking opportunities that have come from that, and how I'm able to collaborate with those people that I've been able to network with. So it all starts, with building that community. So one of the things I was going to ask you all, because I know that we probably have someone who has been listening to this conversation and, probably saying to themselves, maybe I can do something like this, or step out of my comfort zone and, pursue that business that I've been wanting to start, or whatever it might be. What advice would you give to someone that is unsure about a business, or not really being seen or visible in the business that they have today?
I would tell them first to write their vision. A lot of times we decide that we want to be successful. And so we look at a lot of people that we think are successful, and we start taking on their voice or their passion instead of our own. And so we invest money and time, and then, we lose our momentum because it wasn't a good fit for us. So I think the first thing is to really write down what it is that you want and how you want to show up, because that will be a great roadmap for the right people that you need to connect with. I think, a lot of times we can work with a lot of different people, but we are not in alignment sometimes. And that's
Mhm.
because we're not asking the right questions, because we're not clear on what we want. And so they tell us part of the answer, we take some of that, and then we listening to YouTube and social media, and then we're not even sure what we want. So I think before you go into building a brand, really finding out what are some things that matter to you. What are you passionate about? You know, um, what do you want to be known for? This is something that really resonates with me, because I just attended a funeral for my aunt who was 72, and the funeral home was standing room only. It was over 200 people there. They had to cut us off from sharing our remarks because it was just too many people trying to share. So when you think about your brand, what is it that you want to be known for? Because we could say these things, but is that how people are going to interpret what we're saying? Right?
Right.
I could be saying, hey, I am, I can help you with your brand, but then I don't have any evidence, no case studies, no testimonials. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make
Mhm.
sure that whatever we are passionate about, that it's also communicated that way with a transformation for the people that we want to serve.
Yes, yes, we love that. So, what advice would you give, Anita?
Well, it's funny you asked that question because today I had a meeting with someone that she wants to get her content, on TV, and she's been kind of scatterbrained, everywhere. She's like, I want to bring back what we were doing, but I just don't know which path to take with it. Do I go to original, da 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 da? She got to talking, and this is probably our second or third time meeting, talking about her vision. And so before we even got the meeting started, she was saying those things. I said, well, you know what? what I really want to do is let's pray first. Let's just pray. We're gonna get this thing, you know, you all over the place, but we want to, give space to our creator because he knows best what he has the plans and everything for us, right? And I've learned firsthand myself doing what Nita wanted to do. It took me a little far, but then you get that bottleneck, like Lachelle said, because I was relying on my own strength and my own knowledge and ability. When I put him first, when I put God first before any and everything I do, I get the clarity, I get the plan, I get the steps because now I'm listening to him. So, I just believe, like she's saying, that plan, once you know the plan and the purpose that he needs done through you, then yes, you need to write that plan down because what does the Bible say? Write it down, make it plain.
Make it plain.
Okay. Because if you're all up here with it, you'll get off like Mary was saying in there. That's what I was typing to her. She said she's a guru at event planning, but she loses her focus sometimes. So, you know, um, you'll be all over the place if you don't just take your time, write down that plan. So, like I said, I like to put God. I've learned the hard way to put Him now at the beginning, the middle, and the end. You know, and to go to Him first before I start getting all these wonderful ideas myself. I'm like, you know what? Hold up. That sounds good, but let me just slow down for a minute. Let me hold my horses. See, like Lachelle said, see, is this the timing for this thing? It could be a wonderful idea, but maybe it's not the time for it. Or maybe these are not, this is not the group of people I'm supposed to be doing it with. Or whatever the case. Maybe I'm not supposed to be in this city. I'm supposed to be in another city. So taking the time to write out your plan, making it plain, and putting God first. Don't just rush into something. Take time, research, right? Do your due diligence so that you would be more successful at it. So I think that doing that planning, doing that reflection time, really getting. And I love the fact, Michelle, of what you did. While you were in the program with us, you were like, you know what? I love the coaching. It has been wonderful, but my heart is speaking. I want to use my voice. And you made that decision, so it's okay to pivot. A lot of times people think is, I started like this is what I'm going to end. No, you can pivot. It's okay to pivot. So you did an awesome job with pivoting. I mean, combining the two, having a hybrid right approach to it, but your main focus is your speaking. So, it's okay to change lanes. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much, how I feel about um, how you should really take that initiative to do that like that.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you both for that. And then, so, maybe one last question for the both of you. So, what's next for Get Branded, and how can people be a part of this movement?
Ooh, Lachelle, you got up some links. I don't even know what to tell them.
Yeah,
Look.
I put some links in the chat. I say that we are looking to continue to do more trainings with Get Branded. We have a master mind that we are building. Matter of fact, we have an event that's coming up on Sunday where we're going to be talking about Substack. So we're creating a community where maybe you're not focused on that hands-on daily or weekly type work, but you want to get some strategies that you can implement and sprinkle throughout your journey. As we are preparing for 2026, there's so
Mhm.
many new things that are out and up and coming. And so we are really working to help people to learn how to connect with themselves and be able to adjust and be flexible when things come out, whether it's AI or, different things that may be disruptive to your industry, you still can find ways to monetize your skill set and create value in your industries.
Awesome.
Yes. Yes, yes. So, Lachelle, I'm glad you reminded me. I knew it was coming up, but I couldn't remember what day. Y'all know y'all got to remind me. Y'all know how it is. But anyway, so, what happened from that was we have a clubhouse, right, room on Wednesdays. We had a guest speaker because people we have people that can sign up to be guest speakers if you want to be a guest speaker in our clubhouse, right? So he was talking about some different things that he was doing, how he helps other people get on platforms and all these things. He got just talking about Substack. Now he was preaching to the choir because look, Lachelle done told us she like look. I done got on this Substack, baby, and it's doing its thing. Freestyle. I'm just saying the free version. I'm like, the free version do all that? Okay, I need to sign up for the free. So she had already told us about it, but then you hear from somebody else that's using it. It's like then people are getting interested in wanting to hear more about it. I was like, Lachelle, this is just like how Get Branded started. I was like, Lachelle, I was in the background out there. I was like typing her message. I think we need to have a master class on Substack. What you think? And then we put it out to everybody, and it was like, yeah, we would love to sign up for that. So we created the link the same day, put it out, and it was born. So now our next masterclass is going to be on how to utilize the platform Substack and all the wonderful things that it does for people like us when we're online doing business, right? So that's how some of the things that we do just birth out organically, right? So I think that's why it's been so successful because that's how most of it has come to pass. So Lachelle brought up 2026. All of this Get Branded things got started around Women's History Month, right? Which is in March of every year. So we are definitely planning another event in March 2026. It's going to look a little different. We want to do some retreat style. So we're working on that behind the scenes. So we definitely want you all to stay in contact with us so that we can put out that information to you. So like I said, it grew wings, and we're flying away with it. So Get Branded has become a whole movement. So I'm excited.
Well, I am excited and I can't wait for the event next March to be a part of that and just continuing this journey with you all. Because, yes, even though I just completed the 6 month program, it has brought me so much success that it's like, no, let's keep this going. So, some of the other goals that I have that I'm going to be working on, you all are going to be helping me with that. So, I'm just really excited to keep working with you all and just so excited of all the successes that have come from me for being a part of this program. And it has just been wonderful for me flipping the script and getting to interview you all with this powerful conversation because I feel like in some of the questions that you were asked, you have given our audience so many great nuggets to take with them as far as things around confidence, branding, the fact that you are your brand, being intentional and purposeful in the things that you're doing, not being afraid, doing things scared, just doing it anyway, making sure you're aligning with the right people. Look, I'm trying to recall all of these wonderful nuggets that you all just dropped. And, there are so many. But one last question for you all. So, with the Get Branded journey, and I know that you all have helped so many other women in the past, what would you say has been your best success story or transformation?
I'm gonna say for myself, um, because I was my first client.
Okay, that part.
Okay, I didn't know what I was doing, okay, but I learned with myself, and I think, that's the best testimony is that, you are an example of what it is that you can help other people with. It helps you to be more present, and you can connect with them in ways that they may not have the words for, but you can feel what they are feeling because you've been there.
Yep.
So that would be my answer is, I had to let go and eat some humble pie and admit my own faults. So that would be my answer.
Love it. So, what about you, Anita?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of stuff going on around here. Can you say it? I feel like I'm in court now. Can you repeat the question, please?
No, I said, I said, what, I know that you all have worked with a lot of women and, and along this journey, but what would be one of your biggest success stories or transformation?
Wow. Um, well, I'm kind of like Michelle said. I have to speak from my own experience and my own journey. I had to do this thing scared. I had to go into it, just not having a clue. Like I said, if it wasn't for her, when becoming the TV producer, I didn't know what I was doing. So like again, it took a team. It took someone that's been there and done that. That now you can glean off of that person, right? So just doing it scared. I think you said it a few minutes ago. Everything does not have to be perfect. I have to tell you all, I mean, I'm still, I'm still, that's another journey for me is the perfection thing, right? But I have learned that you can't wait on things to be perfect. If you waited on it to be perfect, you might not ever do it, right? So you have to make that move. And the lady I had the meeting with earlier, she actually said that that was one of the things that helped her was she didn't have all the pieces, and a lot of times we don't have all the pieces in the beginning, right? I'm one of those people like I had to have the whole picture. I needed to see it. I needed to know all the colors in the picture. I needed to know who drew the picture, where did the picture come from, and I had to learn, okay, when you're an entrepreneur, you can't really go about it like that. You need to just have what you need to get started and do it because any and everything will come against you to hold you back. It could be personal issues, it could be, financial, it could be, hello, the main thing, your own mindset, right? That imposter syndrome, right? All those things can come up against you mentally. But if you can just get past those things and, like I said, connect with folks that can encourage you and be there for you to say, hey, we're not doing that. This is what we're doing. Just refocus, get back on track. Right. So, I mean, my advice and I mean, my success, I feel like is because I started not knowing everything and did it anyway. And as I did it, the pictures started to come to light. The colors start coming in. Maybe it started out like a black and white picture, but then the colors start coming in, and then it started making sense. And then now I can see the whole thing. So I feel like that is very important for people to know. You might not have all the pieces, and then even if you have all the pieces, it may change. The whole picture may change, right? You just never know what might happen at a drop of a dime. So that kind of reminds me. I don't know if Michelle, you told Michelle we had a plan B because you
Yes.
got to be ready. You got to be
Yes.
ready in season and out of season. It's like because you don't never know what might happen. The internet might go out. Michelle might not make it from the airport. We don't know. we don't. But
No.
the show is gonna go on. Something's gonna happen. We're gonna be live somewhere. So just
Yes.
being prepared. It might not look the way you thought it was gonna look, but as long as you get there, that's the key.
Mhm.
And I
Well,
drop my mic and
so you're like, boom. Well, thank you both, and as we get ready to wrap up, I have just enjoyed the opportunity to get to interview you all. And, as we started this off talking about Get Branded and how it has also helped to, you know, enhance even more confidence in me and allow me to show up even more than I was before. But I feel like, just being a part of the program, it has given me the tools that I need to continue to be successful with my business. So grateful to be a part of this. And, for anyone who's been listening, if you might be thinking about the fact that you might need some coaching, you might want to, get coaching on your confidence. If you're a woman and you need some empowerment and you want to connect with me, I have the link on the screen to my link tree. Come follow me every day on Facebook, the handle Michelle Clarkson, to get my daily meaningful moments of power. And, one thing that I always remind everyone every single day is to just go out here, be great, be your authentic self, and remember that the world needs each and every one of you. So, like I said, I have just enjoyed this hour with you all. This has been the Power Hour with, my amazing mentors and power partners, America's Supermom, Lachelle Atkins, and Anita the Biz Coach, Anita Newsom. And I am Michelle Clarkson with Meaningful Moments of Power. And thank you all so much for joining us. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Lachelle Atkins, also known as America's Supermom, and I am excited about Go Shop America. This is an opportunity for small business owners to be able to feature their products on TV. So if you are looking for an affordable way to distribute your products, and if you're a consumer looking to buy the hottest trends, then I tell you to follow us at Go Shop America.